Welcome back to Romantasy Readers Podcast. I'm Allie, and I'm here with the lovely Nicole. We're super excited today. We're trying something new. We're doing a bit of a wrap up of Iron Flame, but don't worry if there's like breaking news or we come up with more theories or we generally, if we just have any more thoughts we want to share about Iron Flame, we will add them. We will
It'll
add them
just
up. So
keep
don't
coming
worry.
back
But
into our podcast for sure.
I don't expect it to go away. But this is sort of what kind of our general wrap up. We've got some fun games, some really fun questions to play, and I hope that you guys enjoyed today. So I think we're just going to dive in.
Yes.
So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to talk about our top 5 favorite scenes from Iron Flame. Let me tell you, this was so hard for me to do. I started by just making a list of all the scenes that I liked,
Yes.
and it was about 15 long. And so then I had to narrow it down, and I'm still not sure I have the right list. So I will say I do reserve the right to change my mind at any point.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. Right.
you
Good to
know,
know. I thought you were going to be like,
don't hold
I
me to
said
this.
5. I'm changing it to 10. Like,
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I am sticking to 5 this week, unlike when we fan casted. But I could change my mind. That's all I'm saying.
okay.
Is
Well,
in the future, if I say that another scene is my favorite and it does not correlate to what I say in this episode is my favorite, that's
see,
okay.
I was the opposite. I felt like I had this down in 5 minutes. I was just like, I knew
Oh
what my
my
favorites were. I was just like, bang, bang, bang. I knew what I loved. And I was like, these are my favorite scenes. I didn't overthink it. I just went with my gut and what I loved. And yeah,
God.
so
Okay.
it'll be interesting to see. So are we
Yeah.
going to go one at a time? Like I'll say one and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
you'll say one. Yeah, because I think that works really
Yeah.
well.
So why don't we start with you? What was your number 5 scene?
My number 5 scene, which kind of, I guess there's a couple of scenes in this one, but these were pretty pivotal and they were huge for Iron Flame. We could not wait for this. And that is the Brennan reunions. The Brennan reunion with Violet, the Brennan reunion with Mira, even the Brennan reunion with his mum, Lilith. It was just everything I'd been waiting for. Like just the end of Fourth Wing and that realization that Brennan is alive. And then I even love how Rebecca did it, how she was like those first couple of pages, which mind you, when I read these the first time, I was a giggling wreck when I was reading these first 10 pages. I was just there
Yes.
giggling like a schoolgirl.
Yeah.
I couldn't even concentrate. But Violet's just like, Brennan's alive. And then this happened and Brennan is alive. And then this happened and Brennan is alive. And like it was so realistic and I just loved it. I was there for it. And then when Mira saw him for the first time,
So good.
and he just did the shock. And I love that she punched him, like, because he so deserved that.
Yes.
To like, keeping that a secret from his family for all these years and letting them go through it. He deserved to be punched by Mira 100%.
Yeah. And that is so Mira too. It like all of their reactions were just all so them, like Violet was just all up in her feelings and her thoughts about it.
Yeah.
Mira was like goes straight to like punching, and
How
I
dare
think
you?
General Sorenkale was just like, my child, because that's she's all about protecting
my
family,
babies are alive.
So that's yeah, so good. That is a really good one. That was not even on my top 10, but it should be. It's so good. Okay, I think a lot of people are gonna come at me with this one. I think they're gonna be like, this should be higher ranked.
Okay.
But it's hard for me to rank it any higher. So my number 5 is the throne room.
Oh! Only
I
5?
I
Only
know,
5?
it was so hard. I could see myself moving it up.
Mhm.
I don't think I could move it any higher than like 3, but I do think it's gonna stay at 5 for me today, at least.
Mhm.
It's so good,
Yeah.
like, and the reason it's not just because it's a great spicy scene,
Mhm.
but, there's interesting things happening where either Xaden is slipping into Violet's mind or Violet is slipping into Xaden's mind. Something's
I
happening there. And then the
know.
quote, my house, my chair, my woman, just chef's kiss. So good. It's so good.
So good. So
So
good.
that is my number 5. Is that on your list at a different number? Oh,
Uh, might be,
we'll
might
have to
be.
wait and see. Maybe.
Won't give anything away until we get there.
Okay. All right. What's your number 4?
My number 4 is the Lilith Sorengale scene. at the end. So Lilith
Mhm.
finally being a mum to Violet,
Yeah.
coming in and rescuing Violet, and in return dying herself and killing her
Yeah.
dragon. Like, this scene is just epic. Like, there were so many huge scenes in Iron Flame, and I just had to go with which scenes were the most powerful, the most impacting.
Yeah.
Now, as I think I said in our last video, I was crying by this point. I am a mum of 3. I can relate to Lilith, the fact that she had this need to protect her children. And I really started to soften to her throughout this whole book, which kind of told me that something bad was going to happen to her. Like, from early on, I thought, oh my God, is Lilith going to die? Because it's like she's trying to make us like her
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
preparation for that sucker punch of taking her. So
Such a sucker punch.
oh my gosh. So when, Violet is there, she's pouring her power into, I can't remember what it's called now, but she's pouring her power out. She's dying,
Stone.
and Lilith kicks her out of the way, and she's like, I'm going to protect you. I'm your mum. This is my job to do this. And she gives
Mhm.
up her life for her daughter. And it was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was emotional. I was crying, and as I said, I actually really felt a lot more connection to Lilith's character
Yeah.
by the end of this book.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that was on my, like, expanded list, so it
Mhm.
definitely is a huge, huge moment, and, even just, like, Violet's reaction, Brennan's everyone is just like, "No, no," but it is the right choice, right? Like, it is what has to happen, so,
Exactly. And if someone
um
was going to be given up, like, at the end of the day, her mum knows that
yeah.
Violet has so much more she still needs to give. Not
Mhm.
only is she
Mhm.
young, but with her power, with her potential, she
Mhm.
needed to go. Her life is more important than mine. And she knew, just
Yeah.
like mums do, that she had to put herself there first and not Violet.
Mhm. Yeah,
Mhm.
and I do think it'll be interesting in book 3 to see Violet process that, right?
Yeah.
'Cause she has a very complicated relationship with her mom, and so I think that's gonna
Oh,
be,
so much.
a challenge for her and
Mhm.
interesting, so I'm excited for that.
She's got such a complex relationship with her mum, that
Mhm, mhm,
love-hate kind of thing
mhm.
you have with a parent that's a little bit toxic, but
Yeah,
at the same time, there's still love there. You can't help it. You still love them. They're your parent. And it's gonna be really interesting to see where that goes. The beginning of the next book is going to be really challenging for Violet,
yeah.
and
What
really
if
challenging
okay,
for
what if
us as readers.
tangent, what if Rebecca Yarros just, like, pulled, an SJM in Throne of Glass and just, like, book 3 was about totally different characters?
Oh, oh,
How
like Tower of
bad would you
Dawn.
be?
I would
I would not. I could not handle it. I don't think that's gonna happen, but I could not handle it
I
if it
I
did.
would not handle I get upset enough about where they have different characters, and you go to another chapter and you go to a
Oh,
whole
I
other
know, I
story,
know.
and you're like, "No, no, I'm not switching now." It's like, I need the
Yeah,
next chapter. Like,
yes, I know, I know. That is what's happening to me in the book I'm currently reading that you're also currently reading. It keeps switching to
yes,
this one character
yes.
that I'm
It's
like,
like, I don't wanna
"Ugh,
know
I
about
don't want
Queen
this character."
Melinda. I'm sorry, I don't
Yeah,
care.
I
I
don't care
wanna know
about
about
Melina,
Orin. I
exactly.
wanna know about Slade. I do not care about other characters. I'm sure they'll matter down
No,
the track, but right now, I want to know what's going to happen.
yes. Okay, my number 4, and there's, like, a trend, and this is sort of like for me, it's like, of course, the spicy scenes are great, like, that's why I like
Yeah.
Romantasy,
Yeah.
but I also do really like those hard-hitting emotional things. I like when I see the characters really coming into who they are, so
Yes.
my number 4 is the very beginning of the battle with the Venom at the end, when Violet,
Yeah.
is kind of out and is sort of, like, being this first line of defense
Mhm.
and is, like, sending out her power and drops
Yes.
quite a few wyvern, and she even says, like, "Wow, I am powerful. Maybe we could do
Yes.
this," right?
Yes.
I find that scene to be so powerful. It's kind of the first moment I think that she really starts to see, like, "Whoa, I could do a lot.
Yeah,
I
she's
got a lot of
starting to
power here."
realize her own
It's starting to hit
potential.
for her,
She's starting to
and
realize that
that's
she has just scratched the surface with her power, and there is so much
absolutely.
more that she's gonna be able to utilize.
Yeah, and that's what makes it such a good scene for me.
Yeah.
So that's my number 4.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I love that. That's a really good one. I think that I agree with you. I think for character development, that is a point where Violet is really starting to, I mean, she's been growing her power throughout the whole of Iron
Mhm.
Flame, like actually really starting to not just shoot random lightning strikes like she'd been doing at Basgiath, or Basgiath, as I say from
That's
an
got it.
Australian Australian slang. But now actually really knowing how to control her power and put it where she wants to, and actually now really having that control to just destroy so many wyvern, and I'm so excited to see where she goes with it. But yeah,
Yeah.
that was an awesome scene, a very good number 4. Love it.
Yes. Okay, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is a dragon scene. So this is Andana. And this is
Ooh.
the moment that we find out that she is the 7th dragon. So, the lead up to it, like we'd had little snippets where, it'd been like, oh,
Mhm.
her scale's kind of green, her scales look kind of purple, how she kept us kind of just blending in with the rocks and things like that. Like
Yeah,
at first
and
we're
she's
gonna
like, "Oh, I'm the lead of my own den." Like,
we
there's
think
all these tiny little
yes,
crumbs.
little Easter eggs coming in to say that she's something different. And I think we all as readers were thinking she's something else. Like, I don't think she's just a black dragon. Like, in saying that, it hadn't fully clicked for me though either that she was this fully unique. I'd been guessing that
Yeah.
she was a royal dragon, that she was from like
Mhm.
royalty. But then to find out that she had been unhatched for 600 years, she was this unique 7th type of dragon that we don't even know about, and super rare. We don't even know what her type of power is at this stage. All we know is that she has these like translucent scales that she can change, and
Mhm.
she has known about this the whole time. She has known about this. She talked about being the leader of her own den, and then boom, we get it. She's the 7th dragon, and I was just like,
And the way that it comes through where Violet is just sort of like, "Yeah, I know." Oh, and I love when Violet is like, "Are you gonna tell me, or why wouldn't you tell me?" And she was like, "If you weren't able to figure it out on your own, then you were not worth being bonded to me." And I'm just like, "Boom, and Darna."
she's a cheeky
It's
little one, isn't
she's
she?
so
Like,
sassy,
for
I love it.
being this little teenage dragon that you would think she is
I
like
know.
so wise and she is so
So
crafty. Like, she is really making Violet work to get to the point of
Mhm,
realizing the potential of what Andana is. And she's just, oh, I just see her being so much more powerful than Tarn. I feel like she's just
mhm.
gonna obliterate him once we really see and harness what her real power is. I also secretly believe, because they keep talking about that she'll never be able to have someone, she'll never be
Oh,
able to ride, like have a rider. No, I guarantee that at some point she, like Violet, is going to need to ride Andana. And I hate that what that might suggest, that we might see another dragon not survive. But I do believe at
say
some
it.
point she's going to need to ride Andana.
100%. As soon as they were like, "Oh, she'll never have a rider," I was like, "Oh, yeah, right.
Oh, she is going to ride.
Yeah, right." She also happened to bond this tiny little human who doesn't
Mhm.
weigh very much, okay? She will carry Violet.
Exactly. She's feather light. It'll be easy. It'll be no worries.
Yeah,
No worries at all.
yeah.
No, 100%. My theory is that Violet is going to ride Andana.
Mhm,
100%
mhm.
at some point.
100%. Frankly, I don't know why that's not on my list. I'm, like, ashamed that that's not on my list because that's such a good moment. It's so hard.
There's
Okay,
so
all
many.
right, my
There's so many.
number
All right. What is
3
your number 3?
my number 3 is when she fights the venom that pops out of the chest at the noble's house,
Yes.
because it is
Oh,
so emotionally tense with the way that Brennan and Mira are both there, and it's really, like, I think it's only, like, days after, like, they're all reunited and they all
yes.
know that, like, Mira knows about Brennan, and they're all together. They've gone on this mission together, and now her siblings are at risk. And like, she has to prove that she can control her power, that she can do
Yes.
something to save them. And she does it, right? It
Mhm.
takes her some time. It's super tense. It's really scary. But at the end of the day, when it is important and when it matters, Violet comes through. And that is why I love that scene so
I
much.
know. I
And
know.
and Zayden wanting to interfere and him not interfering.
Yes.
Right? Because she had just given him feedback, right? Like, just moments before, she was like, "You can't protect me from everything. Like, stop
Mhm.
trying."
Yes.
And he listens, and he learns, and he grows. I love that. I love the
Yeah.
politics at play. I love learning about the chess. I love that
I
whole
know.
scene
Well, as we know, we've had a
immensely.
whole massive talk on that chest and what its
Yes.
importance may actually
Yeah.
be. This scene, I was always so thrown by the fact that she's doing this whole fight scene in a dress, like in
I
a
know, like a
ball-gown dress,
sexy dress that
jeans
I
down here.
wanna own.
Like, that would be so challenging, and of course, that was the intention. They wanted her to
Mhm.
be, like, struggling and not prepared for the intensity of
Yeah.
this scene. Like, she thinks she's just out there to show her lightning skills, but it was so much more than that. It was to,
Mhm.
send some kind of warning to Xaden. But I agree with you. It was such a pivotal scene for Violet, for Mira as well. Mira having to use her powers outside Navarre. She seemed
Yeah.
like she didn't think she could do it. And then she was able to do it. And some people have suggested that that is the theory that, Violet can extend on other people's powers and actually grow their
Amplified, yeah.
powers. I like to think, though, that this was actually just that Mira did have that ability within her. She just didn't believe it herself. And there was a snippet in Iron
I think
Flame
so
which
too.
spoke about Mira, and that they sort of said that one of her flaws was that her power was very tied to emotion, and that she could only control it through emotional sort of outbursts, which obviously, and then this sort of scene came to pass, which I think sort of showed that she's maybe not as good at controlling her power as Violet is. And she currently maybe isn't even able to access her power to what its full potential really is too.
Mhm. Well, and Violet is also very, tied her power is tied to emotion, so that's a family trait. But yeah, it was so great. There was just so many stakes, and I loved it. Okay, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is the throne scene.
It has to be on the list. It has to be
I
on the
mean, it
list. So
has to be on the list. It's surprising it's not number 1. I mean, come on. This scene was epic. It was just it said
it was
so
so
much. I
good.
mean, apart from the fact there was just the most epic spice scene between, like, 2 of our favorite characters, but
Mhm.
the fact that there's firstly that there is even a throne, right? Like, my whole
Oh,
theory
yeah.
about Xaden, and that he seems to be from a family that is relatively royal. And so the fact that he is then showing Violet that he is almost willing to give that up to her. He's willing to go on his knees for her. Like, this is just
Mhm.
everything that you want in a scene, and it was everything that I wanted for Violet and Xaden, and I love this because it was
Yeah.
just such a connection for the 2 of them to really be coming together and getting past all the drama that we dealt with them through
Mhm.
the first half of the book, and now coming to this point where they were really forging and aligning and just taking their relationship to this pivotal moment,
Yeah.
you know?
And he's building her up, right? He's helping her overcome some of her insecurities. He's showing her that he's willing to, like, make her his queen potentially, like, there's something there.
Yes.
So it's really good. I actually okay, I'm gonna ask you this. I saw somebody today on Instagram, they, like, posted this question. They were like, "Which throne scene is better? The Iron Flame throne scene or the Mist and Fury throne scene with Rhys and Feyre, where they're under the mountain or not under the mountain, but in the Court of Nightmares?" It's so
Oh.
hard to answer. I have my answer, because 'cause I've thought about it, because I, like, thought about it all day and, like, then decided. Do you
Oh,
know what your answer is?
I haven't read ACOTAR in ages now, so I'm
It's been
always,
a long
like, more
time.
connected to the book I've read more recently, I just can't help it. Oh, I feel like I don't know, I'm kind of like, I think this one was more pivotal, but, like, it's Rhysand and Feyre, like,
Yeah,
seriously. I don't know, what
yeah.
did you pick?
So I ended up, after much agony,
Liberation?
ended up picking Mist and Fury, mostly because that scene, Reese and Feyre aren't together, and they, like, secretly kinda both like each other, and so they're like, "Oh, we'll just pretend," but they're not pretending,
Mhm.
and, like, that kind of, like, tension
Yes.
in all of it, I really just, like, really like that tension, whereas, of course, this throne room scene is amazing as well, but it doesn't have the same, like, for me, it's all about, like, the romantic tension, so that is what
I
I
know,
love the
and,
most.
like,
So I do think that that one's better,
yeah,
but
so Feyre
by,
and
like, a
Reese,
hair.
they're like they're mates, and
Yeah,
that is so intense. And look, that could be somewhat here in Iron Flame as well, but we're not there yet to know
yeah,
the level of their relationship. But
mhm,
yeah, with Feyre and Rhysand, it's another level. It is another
yeah.
level.
It's another level.
But
Yeah.
this scene is still amazing. I mean,
So good.
I'm just happy for a throne scene. Like, this is just
Yeah.
yes. And then the way that Rebecca wrote it, like, it just the lines, it
Good.
was everything. It
Mhm.
just hit the
Mhm.
mark so well. I love this scene. It is the best,
Yes.
and I'm
Yes.
now quietly destroyed that everything has been destroyed post that scene.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, my number 2 is Liam. Everything with Liam, basically. Just all of
Yes.
Liam. It's
Mhm.
just so emotional, him being there, talking her through her torture, supporting her, saying, like, it was an honor to, like, be your friend and,
Oh,
just saying that you're
yes,
worth it, and I'm here for you, and you're strong, and you can do this, and it's just, so emotional.
yes.
So that's my number 2. It almost was number 1. It, like, is
Mhm.
really hard for me to choose between my number 1 and my number 2, but it's just so good, and it's like this when I think about all the
Yep.
things that I have of above this, it's like, yes, that throne room scene is amazing, but for me, it's so hard to rank the throne room above, like, all these, like, super emotional, hard-cutting
Yes.
scenes.
Well, that Liam scene, as firstly, you've got the fact that Violet is being tortured at the time and
Mhm.
she is on the verge of being completely broken, and he is
Yeah,
holding her up. And this is her first chance. This is that chance to talk to the person that died unexpectedly and say all the things that you wanted to
that
say
she
to
mentioned.
them that you couldn't,
Mhm,
and she gets the chance to say all that and then to have
mhm.
him respond, and that is just so powerful. It was so intense, it was so powerful. Like, let's be honest, we were just not ready for Liam to go yet. We were
No.
not ready for him to die. We wanted future Liam, and it all just came to this grinding halt. And to just have that chance to process all that, and then to hear him sort of say that there's nothing to forgive, that,
I
and
know.
everything was just like, no, Liam, like, you're amazing. Like,
You're so good.
he's so
I know.
good. He's so good. And Liam Hemsworth has to play Liam just
Has to.
quietly.
Just has to. Absolutely.
Awesome
Okay, what's
second
your number
choice. I love
1?
that. So good.
Yeah,
Number
yeah.
one.
What's your number 1?
I mean, I think it's obvious. I wonder if your number one is the same as number one. Like, this is not a scene that I like. I hate this scene with every morsel of my being. I hate it, but it is the most powerful scene in the book. And that is when Xaden becomes a Venom.
Mhm. Mhm.
I was just in shock. I did not see this coming whatsoever. We had just been sucker punched with Lilith dying, and then this happened, and I was just like, "What? What? No! No, no, that
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
happen." Like, I was literally in denial for, like, a few pages. I was just like, "No, no, 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 what are you talking about? He can't be Venom. That's just not possible. Why would he become Venom? He was just meant to fight them. He's got all that power. He shouldn't need to draw from the ground." So it was overwhelming. It was overwhelming. It was soul destroying. I couldn't think straight after that for
No.
days, just trying to process that
Days.
and just not wanting it to be true, not wanting that to be the reality, because I do not know where we go from here. I don't know how we fix this apart from Violet having an amazing second signet that solves all our problems. This just gets bad. It just gets bad, and then it will potentially get worse. So that is
Mhm.
my number one scene. I hate it, but it is
It's
the most powerful scene in the book.
so I will say, it is not even on my list. That is not my number 1. So it is
No!
not on my
What?
list because
Mhm.
I hate it.
I
I
hate it,
love
that's not
it,
my favorite.
but I also hate it, and I just don't agree with the cliffhanger, and I need to know the information. Maybe if you asked me this if we did this, like, rankings in the future when we, like, have, like, book 3 and 4,
Mhm.
maybe then I could appreciate it more, but right now, I have to stand my ground and say, I hate it.
Delete
I
it,
don't want this
Rebecca. Go
cliffhanger.
back, fix it, and bring it back
I
to
don't want
a
Rebecca
happy
to be
ending.
yeah, because right now, all I know is that Xaden is Venom, and I do not like that. So it's not on my list. My number 1 might surprise a lot of people.
Mm,
So I'm gonna justify it. I really, really struggled here. Like I said, there's so many scenes that are just so good.
mhm.
My number 1 is the entire library heist. And the reason it's my number
Oh,
1
okay.
is because it is the only scene in the book, other than the battle, where all the main characters
Yeah.
are, like, teaming up again, right? And it
Yes,
feels so much like the scene in Fourth Wing when they go and steal the map
Yeah.
of the troops. And but now we also have the addition of Xaden, and we have the addition of Jacinia, and we have the addition of Alaric, and there are such high stakes, but it's also they're getting critical information, it's moving the book forward. It's like a really important plot point because it kicks off the torture scene, it kicks off them leaving Basgiath
Yes.
and going to Aricia. It, you know, it kicks off them figuring out the ward stones, and it sort of comes at a moment when the book, frankly, is a little boring.
Mhm.
You know, it's
Mhm.
been like Violet and Xaden not being able to see each other, not being able to be together. And then you have this like super intense library heist scene. They're
Yes.
getting important information. They team up. I
Mhm.
love Alaric's like sassiness with Xaden, where
Yes.
he's like, "Well, you can't get to her now." Like, so you know, it
Bit
this
of
was a
fun.
really
Bit of
tough
fun.
call for me of like where to put this, but I ultimately felt like what I loved about Fourth Wing was that cast of characters.
Yes.
That's what really, really drew me to
Yes.
Fourth Wing, and we really miss that a lot in Iron Flame, and
Yeah,
so loved
100%.
having it
100%. I think
in
that first
in Iron
half of
Flame.
Iron Flame was so tough. One, because Xaden and Violet were separated the whole time and were experiencing this long distance relationship.
Yeah,
And then also that she was keeping all these secrets from her friends. And then she was also kind of distant from them. They weren't working as a team. She was trying to do it all on her own. And that was really hard reading. It was hard reading because you just, and yes, it needed to be done in order to then all come back together and
mhm,
make that valuable. But it was really hard to go through that until it was resolved. So it was so nice to finally have where Violet finally confided in her friends and brought them in and realized
yes,
she could trust these people. These were
she
her
can trust
people.
them.
Yeah, and they've
Yeah,
always
she's
true.
bringing in she tells Redoc, Sawyer, she brings in Alaric. Xaden trusts them, which is huge for him, right?
Yes,
It's
especially
also finally it's the moment where the rebellion kids, the marked ones, and Violet's like friends are kind of coming together as well. So it
exactly.
just I don't know, it just feels like such an important scene for me.
Yeah,
So that's
definitely.
my number one.
No, no, I really like that. Like I say, it's not the massive scene that like I've spoken about, like which was
Yeah.
also a traumatic, horrible scene. As I say, this is a scene where we're really seeing those characters all really coming together, working as a team, and just seeing their
Mhm.
little personalities back and forthing with each other and everything as
Yeah.
well. It just that was the parts of Iron Flame that I really loved, was just seeing all those little relationships like
Yes.
Jacinia and Sawyer, Alaric.
Mhm.
I loved kind of what he was bringing to these to this group as well, and then
Yeah,
he's this kind of disgruntled prince who doesn't like his dad, and he's actually
I
trying to do
know.
the right thing. He's trying to do the
And
right
help
thing
them.
by
Yeah,
people. So
absolutely.
is I agree. I agree. I think there's a lot in that. I love that you've brought that to like this, because I think that it's
Mhm.
while it's
Mhm.
a very understated scene, I agree. It is a very important scene.
Yeah, yeah.
Love that.
Okay, well, let us know, reader or listeners. I almost said readers. You're also readers, but let us know what your favorite scenes were. Is there any that we really missed? Any big ones? The next game that we're gonna play, we're gonna keep it PG-13. Some of you may know this game by another name, but we're gonna call it Screw Mary Kill. So we're gonna take. I have a cup. This is my Taylor Swift
Ooh,
Eras Tour cup. So if you don't know, I'm a big Taylor Swift fan, and this is the cup
really?
that I bought. Yeah, yeah, barely mention her. So I have a bunch of characters in this cup, and I have some wild cards to make this interesting, and I'm
Okay,
gonna draw out
so
3,
I have
and
to
then
say screw, marry, kill.
yeah, you have to pick who from that group of 3 would you screw, who would you marry, and who would you kill,
Okay,
and
okay,
we'll, like, trade back and forth. So Nicole will do some, and then I'll do
okay.
some, and we'll go like that. So,
Love it,
okay, are
love
you
it.
ready
Bring it
for
on,
your
bring it
first 3?
on.
I have, like, no idea. You could get a crazy pairing.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Alright, so I have my first 3. Okay, this is a crazy pairing. Okay.
Alright.
Lilith,
Lilith!
Redoc, Lilith yeah, yep. Lilith, Redoc, and Sigale.
Lilith Riddle. Kale. Jesus Christ. Um,
What a really fun one to start with.
okay. Kill Lilith. Sorry,
Yeah,
but I
she
definitely
dies anyway.
um screw Riddick. because,
Yeah.
he'd be fun. He'd be fun to screw around with.
Pretty
And,
fun.
well, I think I'd marry Sigale because she'd be pretty protective, wouldn't she? And
Yeah, she would be a very good spouse. She'd really take care of you, really
that's
protect you.
right. That's right. She's
Yeah.
gonna, yeah,
I think that's
she'll look
exactly how I'd answer it
yeah,
too.
yeah, she'll look after Tan.
Okay,
All
let's
right.
see if I get one just as challenging.
Okay.
I have drawn Mira, Varish, and Rhiannon.
Fairy.
Okay,
Oh.
okay, I'm killing Varish. That's
Really?
easy.
I
That's
thought you
really
might want to
easy.
screw him,
Yeah, yeah. No, we're gonna kill Varish.
Yep.
I think I'm gonna marry Rhiannon because she's so loyal,
Yeah.
she's such a good
Mhm.
friend,
Mhm.
and that is what makes a true marriage
That's
work
it.
is
That's
friendship,
it. I
and
agree.
she's just a good friend. And then, I mean, yeah, I'll just screw Mira because she can put up a shield. Nobody's gonna hear?
That's it. No, I love
Okay,
it. I love it. Okay, that was so good.
are we
All right.
gonna get one of the, like, guy characters at any
I
point? I
know.
swear they're in here. This
All
is
right.
fun.
Which one
Okay.
are we gonna go? All right.
Oh my god.
Oh God, what have I had?
You have good characters, but it's hard to pick. Okay, so Liam, Zayden, and
Ah!
Sawyer. This is hard for a totally
Oh,
different reason.
oh, jeez. Okay. Well, I'm definitely not killing Liam. All right, that is first. Okay.
Liam stays alive in our
Sorry,
world.
Sawyer, you're the lowest on the list. You're getting killed because the other
Yeah.
two are too important.
Yeah.
I'm screwing Liam because he'd be pretty hot to like hook up with,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
he cannot beat my man. He cannot beat my man, Zayden. Like, Zayden is marriage material. I need him in my life. I need my shadow
Mhm.
daddy. 100% I'm
All the
marrying
time.
Zayden.
Yeah. See, I would definitely kill Sawyer. I think I would say screw Zayden because it would be like such a great like one night stand, that you can
Yeah.
talk about for the rest of your life. And then I would marry Liam. I
Oh,
think
you love
Liam
Liam.
is so I do. I love Liam and I love a good as much as I love a shadow daddy and a book boyfriend for actual marriage, I prefer somebody who's, like good natured and humorous
Aw,
and
and like chisel
loyal.
you
So
little figurines and stuff
yeah,
out
like
of
just you
wood.
little figures and everything like that, and isn't tortured all the time. So that's I would make that one
Oh,
edit.
yeah, no, nice pick, nice pick.
Okay.
Okay.
My next three are Bodhi,
Okay.
Imogen, and Violet. Okay, I'm gonna screw Bodhi
Okay.
because I can pretend that it's Zayden
Mhm.
because they kind
Yeah.
of look
Yeah,
alike,
yeah, yeah.
right?
Yeah,
In
yeah,
the
yeah. I get
dark,
that. Yeah.
with, like
Mhm.
the right lighting, the right candlelight. I
That's
could just it
right.
could
That's
probably
right. Just
yeah.
mixing it up.
And then I would probably marry Violet because again, she's really loyal. She takes care of people. Super powerful.
Mhm.
Really
Yeah,
important.
yeah. I mean, that's good marriage
And
material
then I would
right
have
there.
to kill Imogen, which I hate because I love Imogen. Imogen's one of
Yeah.
my favorite characters,
Yeah.
and my
But
nieces
she's
love
just the
Imogen.
weakest of the lot, let's be honest.
She is.
Yeah.
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 That's
Yeah.
can't help it.
No, can't help
All
it.
right. I don't know what you're gonna get because there's not a lot of characters left here. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, you got Dane,
Ah!
Aaron, and Garrick.
Dane, Tan, and Garrick. Okay, well.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dane, but you've pissed me off. You've pissed me off.
Yeah.
You've had your
Get him
chance.
out
I
of
mean,
here.
yes, we've had some
Done.
redemption, but bad luck. Goodbye. You're getting killed for
Mhm.
sure. I can't. Wait,
How do
I
you choose
can't
between
screw
Karen and
Tan,
Garrick?
but I'll screw Garrick for sure. I mean, I love Garrick.
Yeah.
He's my man.
Yeah.
Like, he is hot, but I don't quite know about
Yeah,
his
he is.
personality. So he's definitely who I'm screwing. And
Mhm.
then I'm marrying Tan because he is like gonna protect
Mates for
me.
life.
And
He's
yeah.
loyal.
He's loyal. He's that's putting bizarre images in my mind. I'm just thinking about those scenes where they have to block their shields, and I don't know if I really want to be in on that, but yeah, okay. It's a very platonic marriage that we're gonna be
It's a
part of.
platonic marriage. Yeah. Okay, and then the last three are mine.
Mm-hmm.
I really got the run here. So I have Andarna, Captain Atos, and Brennan. So I'm gonna kill Atos. Get him out of here.
Yeah,
Hate him.
100%.
Okay, I think I'm gonna screw Brennan. Again, I just think that, like, he's maybe a good one-night stand, but that's about it.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna marry Darna because, like,
Yeah.
he's really powerful,
I know.
you know?
You've gotta keep your dragons close.
You gotta keep your dragons close. Did we in all 3 scenarios, we said we would marry the dragons,
Well,
so
what else
that's
can
kind
you
of like,
do?
let's
You're
just
sure
say
as
we're
hell not gonna
bonding
kill
then.
them. And
Yeah,
look, they're, those relationships, they're for life. They're for life.
they
Like,
are.
I
Yeah,
think, which is basically a marriage. So,
yeah,
yes,
exactly.
I love it.
Okay, that's
Love
it. That's our screw, marry, kill.
it.
You guys should let us know if you like that, if we should keep doing that in future, like, about other series. But I
Yes.
just thought that was a
What
really
did
fun
you
game to
think?
play.
Would you guys say the same? Would you
Yeah.
screw, marry, kill other characters? Would you have gone a different way to us? That was
Mhm.
super fun.
Yeah,
That was super fun.
that was super fun. Okay,
Awesome.
last game that we're gonna play is we have prepared some, like, really silly questions for one another
Okay.
about the characters. So I'm gonna start, and I'm gonna ask Nicole this question, she's gonna answer it, and then I'll give my answer as well.
Okay.
But she doesn't know what these questions are,
Okay.
so it might be she's gonna have to, like, think on her feet.
Mm.
So the first question is, which character do you think is the best cook?
Ooh, which character do I think is the best cook? Violet. Violet,
Yeah.
because she's really good at mixing, like, the poisons and stuff. So I'm gonna
Yes! Oh, that's
theorize
such a good
that if
idea.
she is really good at doing poisons, she's probably really good at, like, doing recipes and stuff and actually cooking. So, and she
Mhm.
definitely put herself forward to do the cooking, when she first joined Fourth Wing, so I'm gonna go with Violet for that one.
That's a good answer. So I had picked Dane, but for, like, a similar reason, which is that Dane follows rules, like, so he would
Mhm.
be good at following a recipe.
Yeah.
But I think your answer of Violet is a really good one.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Alright.
that's a good one. Okay,
I
what do you have?
have which character has the messiest room?
Oh, that's such a good question. Oh my gosh. Okay. I think it has to be Redoc, right?
Yeah.
Riddick?
Yeah.
Is that how you say it? Riddick?
Yeah,
Riddick.
really.
It has to be
Yeah,
Riddick.
yeah.
His humor just and his, like, general just, like, laissez-faire,
Yes,
attitude,
yes.
I feel like he would have a messy room.
Yeah,
That's
no,
what I think.
I agree, I agree. I think that the way he lives his life, I do not see him being a clean
I
character.
agree.
I see him potentially being the messiest of the lot and the most not put together, like, just
Yeah,
totally
yeah.
relying on everyone else to do all the hard work, and he just, slowly saunters his way along afterwards and and probably has a really messy room with clothes strewn all over the floor.
Everywhere.
Yes.
Everywhere, yeah. And, like, just, like, random little, like, trinkets and things that he's picked up, like, I see it being, like, just so, like, chaotic,
Yes.
like, a book here and there's, like, a spill of, like, food that he hasn't cleaned up and yeah,
Exactly, exactly. It's a total mess for sure.
yeah.
All right.
Okay, which character would be the best movie actor or actress?
Oh, which actor would be the best movie actor or actress? Oh, who's good at acting? Definitely not Dane. He's way too by the
No,
book. There
he's
is
bad.
no
Yeah.
way.
No.
Oh, I feel like it would be between Zayden and Rhiannon. Like, I feel like Rhiannon would just be good because I don't know, she's our girl. I just feel like she's good
He's
at everything.
charismatic.
Yeah,
I see
yeah.
him being so charismatic.
Yeah, yeah. And then I guess I'm
Yeah.
guessing Zayden because he's kind of really good at lying and he's good at, like,
Mhm.
keeping secrets and things. So maybe he would as well. But then he's kind of also too serious and too, like, I don't know, he's got bigger things to think about. So I think, to act in that, you've got to be willing to have a little bit of fun. So I'm going to go with Rhiannon. Who would
Okay,
you
that's a really
pick?
good answer. Yeah, initially I thought Xaden as well, but I was just like, to act, you also have to be vulnerable. Doesn't wanna do that, you have to have fun. He could
Mhm.
maybe be like one of those, like, really serious method actors that only does, like, Oscar-winning dramas, but get out of here. So, I love your answer of Rhiannon. I had actually picked Brennan for a similar reason because I felt
Yes.
like Brennan, he has had to hold up this facade
Mhm.
for a long time that he's this, like, other lieutenant, that he's
Yes.
not Brennan, he's done that very well. And yeah, I think I don't know, I feel like he'd be good at acting. And I think he's hiding a lot of secrets.
Oh,
I think
yes.
he's done a very good job of keeping secrets from
Yeah.
Violet. So,
Yeah, 100%. He's definitely able to become a different character, and he has done that for a long time. So, no, I love that answer as well. I think that's definitely good. Right, now my
mhm.
next question, I've changed the rules on this a little bit. This is just a question I want
Okay.
to ask you, and it's not about a character per se. This is
Okay.
more about if you could have a signet, what would it be? And you can give us two answers. One is a lesser signet, a smaller signet, and one is a big signet, a massive signet. What would you pick?
Oh my gosh, this is so hard. I feel like okay. I think my lesser signet would be around like like honestly being able like Rhiannon's, like being able to pull objects to me like through
Yes.
things, like
Sitting on the
my books across the
couch.
room.
Mhm.
I get my book, or what really happens all the time is my water bottle's across the room, and I
Mhm.
really want my water bottle, but
It's
the
like
book is so good, or I don't want to get up to get my water bottle. So that would be
love
my
that.
lesser signet. Yeah.
Yes.
And then my major signet, I mean, how could I not say like pure power? How would that
Okay.
not be,
Mhm. Mhm.
like I want to wield pure power. I want to be able to just be like lightning, cool, storms, cool, shadow, like whatever Violet
Whatever
ends
you
up
want
being
it to
able to do.
be.
Yeah.
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 What
So
about you?
okay. My lesser signet would probably be such a mum thing. It would just be like that it folds my laundry for me. 'Cause I hate folding laundry
I get
so much.
that.
So if I could get a signet that just did it for me automatically, like I could just look at it and it would just all start folding automatically, like that would be a dream for me. That would
Yeah.
just solve all my mum problems. My
I'm not
big
gonna lie to you. I have a basket of laundry in my room right now that has been there for over a week.
Oh my god,
And I
seriously,
just
I
keep living
can
out of
wash
it.
it, I can dry
Yeah.
it, but folding it and putting it away, that is my challenge. So,
The worst.
that would solve so many of my life problems to have that as a lesser signet.
Mhm.
My big
Mhm.
signet would have to be able to control the weather because I hate cold weather, right? I detest it. And where I live in Australia, while we don't get snow and it is summer right now, our weather, we get like 4 seasons in a day. It is sunny and then it's cold and then it's raining and then it's windy. I just want to control the weather. I just want to be like, oh, look at that, hot and sunny, hot and sunny. Oh, it can rain overnight. That's fine. I'll let the rain happen overnight and then sunny all during the day. So I just want to control the weather so I can just enjoy hot, warm weather all the time. That would make me happy. So,
That that makes a lot of sense. I love the cold weather. I'm like a cold weather person. I love the snow. I love cold weather. I hate hot weather. I hate to be hot.
mhm.
My husband and I have invented a word, like where if you've heard like the word hangry, where you're so hungry that you're angry,
Yes, yes.
we say that I get hotgry, where I am so hot that I'm angry. Like I do not like to be hot. I can be cold all day long. I can be like freezing and I'm just like so happy. The second I'm hot, I just am like, "Ugh, I hate this." I'm such a baby about it. So
That's
my husband and
so
I most of
funny.
our hiking in the winter because I refuse to just,
Wow.
like, be sweaty. I don't like to be sweaty. That's just a
Oh,
fun
that's
fact
so
about me.
funny. I'm the opposite, right? Like my body does not like cold. Like my fingers go white. Like you'll sometimes see in my videos, my fingers go white, and my body just kind of almost goes into shutdown. I need hot weather to just. It's like my body thaws out, and then I can actually function. Like when I'm reading Iron Flame and that, and they're talking about being in really hot, humid weather. I'm just like, yes, that's what I want. Hot, humid, tropical weather. This is for me. So I'm
No.
just, yeah, like I don't like super hot. Like obviously that's a bit much, but as long as I've
Yeah.
got air conditioning and a swimming pool, I am fine. I can be in hot, humid weather. My hair doesn't like it. It'll just start to frizz up and go terrible. But like I'll be red, sweaty, looking terrible, but I'm still really happy. Whereas when I'm cold, it's just like my body's shutting down and I just feel like I'm suffering. So
Mhm. Mhm.
that's all right. You
No,
can
that would be
control.
a good signet.
Mm.
Weather control is a really good signet. Yeah.
Just if we
I'm
both
here
had the
for it.
same signet, we'd be fighting if we're in the same place. You'd be like, "Cold," and
Yeah.
I'd be like,
You know,
"Hot,
like, hot, no,
cold,
it's
hot,
cold, no,
cold,
it's hot.
hot."
People would hate us.
Yes, they would. We'd have to, like, get
Okay,
some
my
kinda
last
treaty agreement.
question my last question is like super silly. So I don't even know how to answer this, but I just, again, like I was just coming up with really silly questions. So which character would win a hot dog eating contest? Which character would like eat hot dogs, or a pie eating contest, like
Yeah,
whatever kind of like, like professional food
yeah,
eaters. Who would be the
yeah.
best at that?
Alright. Well, apart from the dragons, obviously, because they would
Oh yeah, the
definitely win. I
dragons
mean,
would,
if we threw
yeah,
dragons in there, they're hands down, like, and Dana is
they
definitely
would.
gonna win because she is just a teenage eating machine right now.
Mhm.
Characters? I'm gonna say oh, I was gonna say Zayden, but I mean, Garrick's pretty big and bulky, right? So I would
Yeah.
think
Garrick
Garrick.
is like, I think they say that he's like bigger than Zayden, even though Zayden's
Exactly.
like
So a
the
boy
real
like
fighter.
that, a man like that's gotta eat, right? Like,
Can
he
put it
would definitely
down.
be able to down, like, 24 hot dogs, like, no worries.
Yeah,
So
that
I
was
feel
my
like
answer too.
yes, I feel like our man is Garrick.
Yeah,
Yep.
I think so. Did you have any more questions? Those are all the questions that I
Well,
had.
I could just throw one more in, and that
Okay,
is
great.
which character do you think would be the worst drunk? The worst on alcohol?
That is a really good question. Um, hmm. Okay, do the dragons get to be in this one?
Why not? Yep, yep, throw the dragons
Okay,
into it.
then I'm gonna pick Endarna
Yeah.
because she's a teenager and I can just imagine her, like, being, like, her sassy teenage self, but also being drunk and, like, she's, like, trying to fly and she's trying to shoot, fire and she's
Oh my
failing at it
god.
all and she just, like and then she's, like, mad, so she stops time, like,
And she's
I
just
think she would just
unconscious,
be
throwing up.
yeah, yeah, exactly, and then she'd be like we'd be like, "You need to go to sleep, Endarna," and she'd be like, "No, I'm not drunk, keep partying."
Can
So
you
that is my answer.
imagine Tan drunk? Like,
Oh my god, that would be so funny.
just
I would
imagine.
I don't know how she could do it, but it'd be so fun if Rebecca Yarros could, like, write that in somehow.
I know, I know. I feel like he'd get emotional. I feel like like they're all gruff, but
She would be
secretly
like
they're
a
all emotional
sobbing
underneath. I
drunk,
feel like he'd
yeah,
be like a crying drunk. He'd just be
yeah.
like,
She'd be
"I
like,
love you
"Violet, I
so
love you
much,
so much."
Violet. I'm so proud of you."
Yeah.
Big
He would be a
softy
very,
underneath
very
it all.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Okay, who do you think is the worst drunk?
Well, as I said, I would like to see Tan. I think he would
Yeah,
be a really,
yeah, that's
emotional
your answer.
emotional drunk.
Mhm, mhm.
I who would be bad? Like, I feel like Riddick would totally be able to handle his liquor because he probably drinks all the time, and Rhiannon would probably be all over it as well. I think
Yeah,
maybe Violet because she
yeah.
seems like someone
We
she doesn't
saw a
be.
little bit of that
Yeah,
in
exactly,
Iron Flame.
exactly. So I think she really lets her guard down and she just opens up and she gets a bit silly. She gets really sweet, but she definitely cannot handle her liquor, like, whatsoever.
No,
And so
no,
it's all coming
no.
out.
She's a
And
lightweight.
if she drank too much, she would definitely be a mess. She's just like not good at drinking. Like, she's just not good at it. So she would be a bad
Yeah,
drunk.
totally.
Yeah.
Like, I totally see that.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that is all we have for you today. I hope that you have enjoyed some of these fun, silly games. Let us know if you like them. If you have other games that you want us to play when we wrap up books, shoot us a comment. Let us know on Instagram. We love hearing from you. We love your reaching out about theories and ideas. And we're kind of like we said, we're kind of wrapping up Iron Flame, though we're definitely not putting it fully on the shelf. But let us know what the next book series that you'd like us to cover. I think we're going to try and do a little bit on Plated Prisoners because Nicole's been reading it. I'm reading it. We obviously are getting very close to the Crescent City 3 release, House of
Yes.
Flame and Shadow. So I'm sure
So
we'll do something there. But
exciting.
if there's another series that you can't stop thinking about, let us
Share
know.
it.
We want to read it. We want to talk about it with you. And go from there. But thanks for listening.
Love it. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. Bye.